has this ever happened to you? It won't open. Hey there YouTube, this is Clay Hughes. This is inside my 2008 LR3 Discovery 3. I have had the dreaded tailgate failure. Hopefully I can show you how I fixed this, and maybe it'll make it a little bit easier for you. I've seen several other YouTube videos on this. I know I'm not the only one, but there were a couple of things that I don't think were covered in some of the other ones. So I want to show you my experience with this, and maybe it'll help out, maybe not, we'll see. So first things first, I apologize for the lighting and maybe some background noise. It's winter and it's cold, and it's only like 5 in the evening, but it's already this dark. So this was the only chance I had to film this, because I don't have my car in a garage. So the problem that you're encountering is not up here with the latch. The problem is that this release cable right inside there, this release cable, which travels along here to the actuator, breaks off. It literally just snaps off. It's just cheap garbage is what it is. So I'll show you what the new one is supposed to look like. I've already installed this new one, so you'll have to forgive me. I kind of got a little ahead of myself. But the new one has this nice fancy little hook in it. Right, that is what slips into here, and then when you push that button and you hear that chirp chirp, all right, that's what's happening right there. See, there's a plug-in right there that actually activates it. That is what pulls open and shut your tailgate. Fairly simple concept, but very poorly executed with this. So I want to show you a couple of differences real quickly with the parts that I got. So I ordered these parts off of eBay. They were quite a bit cheaper than buying them from the actual Land Rover store by far. I'm a little well, I'm really pleased with the actuator. All right, for a much better price, I got a genuine part here, it appears. That's an FUG 500010. What's unique about this, when you hold the old one and the new one side by side, you can see the part numbers here. You may not be able to see that, but it's 999840 on this metal plate and 999840 on this metal plate. So same thing, some markings here, Ford Motor Company P5. This might save you some money. Look up a Ford Motor Company part number P545K. That's marked on both of these actuators. So let's see if I can get it. I don't know if I can pick that up or not. It's so dark out here. I'll try to get a cross reference on these part numbers. So this must be the same actuator that's in maybe an Expedition or something. So the old one and the new one are fairly similar. Biggest difference is this new one came with a plastic cover. The factory one here in my Land Rover didn't have any kind of a cover. It has the screws, the screw holes I should say, but they've never been threaded, and it never had a cover on it. So I don't know if that was something that was forgotten at the factory, or if that was just not done at the time. I don't know. It's kind of weird. But anyway, that's a genuine part. I'm really pleased I got that. I went ahead and bought a new, well, you had to buy the new upper latch. I didn't have to buy a new actuator, but since I had the whole tailgate torn apart, and they have the same number of activations on both, then I figured might as well. But the replacement is not a genuine product. At first I thought it was. I was very impressed at first, but then the more I got to looking at the label, I believe this is a knockoff of some sort. I'm not sure. It says genuine parts, right? And it's got all the different languages and a year and all this other stuff. But and even with the recycle logo, and like you compare these things, what I notice is this one says Raylux and Discovery 3.4, whereas the genuine parts I've never seen with a model number on them, or model name on them. They're always just the part number like that. So I'm a little confused as to, you know, where I got these parts from, I guess. But anyway, I'm really happy. The actuator is the real deal. The upper latch, I think, is an aftermarket, but I'm okay with that. Totally am. Right, so the problem you're going to encounter, you push that button, it's not going to open. You're going to have to pry off this, well, pry up the plastic trim, which goes the entire length of the width of the car, basically. So you're gonna have to pry that off. If it's cold outside and winter and you get too much of a bite on it, you'll split it like I did, which fortunately it didn't break off completely. So I think it'll be okay. It'll just be a crack, but it does go all the way through, and it's because I was trying to pull against a body plug right there. I guess that's essentially what looks like happened. So to get that, to pry this carpet out, I actually ended up gripping the carpet itself. You have to, it's mounted to this solid plastic backer. Okay, so as you're trying to pry that out, you've got to make sure there's two things. One, you don't want to get too far up, or you're going to be trying to pry against the metal. Like, do you see all these scratch marks right there? Okay, that's from me trying to pry up against this, because I was going too high. I couldn't tell how deep this went. It doesn't go back very deep behind that heavy plastic trim. It doesn't go back very deep. So you just try to find that middle section. You don't want to be pulling the carpet out, but you don't want to be trying to pry against your metal tailgate. You have to hit that sweet spot right where that plastic is, and just pull the plastic outwards while lifting up on that trim piece. So I have this taken apart so you can kind of see a little bit better. Once you get that plastic and carpet piece pried away from here, okay, this little tailgate flap you can't do anything about. You can't take this out without it being open, without the tailgate down. So you're only going to get about this much, which I'll show you with this 2x4, right? Okay, it's about 1.5 inches, and you can pry it just a little bit more. So you've got less than 2 inches of working space to get back here. Okay. Now, as you might see in other videos from other people, once you get this actuator, I've already ripped out the membrane. There's a piece of foam that is going to be, you know, blocking you, and then you've got to pry in the back, reach in there with something long, and grab that broken nub of this, okay? And once you grab it, pull on it, okay? I don't know if you just heard that pop, okay? But then kind of take your elbow, right? While pulling out on this, push up against the tailgate, okay? See, now it's latched again. I'll pull on it, there. So, now you can open your upper tailgate. That allows you to drop your lower tailgate. Easy peasy, right? So this was the makeshift tool that I used to reach in there and grab that cable with. All of this is, had to buy this at Lowe's. This was something else another YouTuber suggested. At first I thought it was kind of, I don't need that. I own these really long needle nose pliers, right? I even have a bent nosed version of them. I thought, oh, those will reach in there and get it. Yeah, no, I couldn't get in there with those. I don't know if they were too thick or what, but I couldn't get in there. So down at the local big box, you know, any hardware store should have this kind of thing. This is a 1/8 inch piece of mild steel. That's it. Left the tag on there so you can see what it is. Took a pair of pliers, bent it into a hoop there, and when I reached down behind this bracket, I was able to just barely hook it and then pull it out like that. I didn't actually jerk on it with that, but I was able to pull it out of the bracket enclosure and then grab it with my fingers and give it a tug, and then it was able to open the upper tailgate. So this was well worth the $2. This made the project happen. Like that was well worth the $2. So that's the biggest tip I could give you. Now that you're able to open your tailgate, you're going to have to take off this piece of trim. This piece of trim isn't too bad. There are 1, 2, 3, 4 Phillips head screws. So you take those screws out. Now they're a little bit you know, I don't want to say confusing, but they're a little bit annoying because they have this plastic cap on them. I don't know if you can see that. They have this plastic cap, and you just have to kind of pry that cap off, and then it's just a regular old Phillips screw. Now whether that cap winds up being reusable, I don't know, but it's kind of chewed up after prying it out. Actually, this one's not too bad, but anyway, so unscrew those 4 screws. Now there are also body clips. There are also body clips underneath here. Okay, so when you get those screws out, it's still not going to want to come out right away. You've got at least, let's see, there's 1, 2. This one's right by the lower tailgate actuator switch. See, I broke that coming out. And okay, so that one pulled out, and that one then broke on the other end. So anyway, you've got a couple of body clips in there to deal with as well. So before you take off both of these retracting cables, put yourself, I just used a block of 2x4 sitting right on the bumper, right above the trailer. Yeah, I'm actually hooked up to my trailer, but sitting right above the trailer hitch on the bumper, and that seems to rest quite nicely, the plastic against the wood against the plastic. I mean, I wouldn't sit on it obviously, but there's plenty of support there to hold this up without it causing any damage, without it falling free, and without those cables in the way. Your carpet's still on here at this point, so what you're gonna have to do is unclip the lower tailgate retractors, right? So I used 2 flathead screwdrivers, kind of put them on the left and the right, and just popped it off. It's just a spring clip on the inside of there. It's not too hard to come out. I didn't let these run free to go back in. It doesn't look like they'll get sucked in there. Somebody else recommended wrapping it around and all that other stuff. I didn't find that necessary here. Just gently lay it back there and didn't have any problems. Now once you've retracted those, then you need to remove the mounting ball that holds that on there. That's easily done with a 13mm socket. Just 13 millimeters, unscrew it. It is going into this threaded bracket right here. It's a welded square nut on the back, so you don't have to worry about getting behind there with a wrench or anything else. It's just threaded, so that's not too hard to come off. Then you can pull your carpet. It also has quite a few body clips on it. Looks like you have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You have 10 of these little body clips holding it in. So just be aware of that. This didn't come out with too much problem. It wasn't too bad at all. All right. Now you're ready to remove your actuator and your latch. The latch was the first thing I took out. I'm already done with that. That was really simple. There's just 3 Torx head screws. Why Land Rover felt the need to put out of 3 screws, they have 2 different sizes that you need. I don't know. That was kind of that's kind of a dick move there, Land Rover. Like, why didn't you just put all 3 screws the same sized head? They're all 3 the same thread. You could put them in any hole, but they're all different threads. I don't know why. On this aftermarket latch, there was this piece of white plastic in here, and it was kind of like a bouncy buffer thing. I don't really know what it was in there for. The original one didn't have it, and I noticed with this tailgate, it wouldn't shut all the way. It would only go to the first latching position. It wouldn't go to the second latch. So I pulled it out. I just reached in there with needle nose pliers and just kind of tugged on it, and it was only a friction fit. It's not actually held in there by anything, screws or glue or anything else. So I removed it, and now the tailgate latches as it should. So if you buy an aftermarket one, you may run into that. Not a big deal, just pull it out. Now you're ready to mess with the actuator. The actuator itself is it's behind here, and it fits like so. Both of these screws, neither one of them rather, need to be unscrewed all the way. They just need to be loosened. Let's see here, can you see that one? And come on now, I'm trying to do this one-handed. Okay, so there we go. You see, it's just a slot fit. That's it, slotted fit, no big deal. So just loosen them up a little bit, pull it towards the rear of the vehicle, give it a wiggle, preferably not one-handed, and it'll drop free. And then there's your entire latch and actuator assembly removed. Now we're gonna do the installation. Before you take that out, I forgot to mention, there's a plug here. That plug you can easily reach through this hole. So you do need to pretty much remove the entire membrane here to get that out. Otherwise, you're gonna have a hard time. You're just gonna be yanking on wires, and that's not a good thing. So this clip has a little thumb squeezy release right there, and just a 2-wire quick connect plug. So squeeze it right there, give it a yank, and it's out. All right, so on to reassembly. We're gonna get rid of this. We're gonna keep, obviously, our new ones. And I already installed the new upper latch. Like I said, that one's very self-explanatory. It is just 3 screws. The whole thing comes out. There's a similar plug just to this one, but it's right here. So, which is actually oriented the other way around on here. Okay, so when it's installed in the vehicle, which way am I looking? Here, yeah, okay. When it's installed in the vehicle, it looks like this. So the plug is down here on this end. That's that pigtail right there. So just reach in there, grab it, pull it out, and you're done. So we're going to install this rubber retainer. Let's give it a good little, push. It's very cold out here, like I said. Need something stronger than a screwdriver. It doesn't want to go. Alright. There we go. Okay. Now that's in there. This just clips into here, like so. Now that you have that in, you just clip that in. I saw another YouTuber do this, and I kind of like the idea. I don't know if this is good or bad. Oh, hello, that was bad. I don't know if this is a good idea or a bad idea, but I'm gonna try it anyway, and we're gonna see. We're gonna just go for it here. So, the best way to put it is, you just put the zip tie on here just to help take a little of the slack out, take a little of the movement out, and help retain it, which, said, this may be unnecessary, I don't know, but I'm gonna give it a shot. We'll see. Okay, looks like yeah, that thing twists all the way around. It'll go in any direction you want. So, oh yeah, you can feel the pressure on it now. Okay. Right, now we're going to install this cover. I'm not really sure, again, why the new one came with a cover and the old one didn't. Maybe some kind of an improvement. You know, the problem with this is going to be that if or when this ever breaks again, now you've limited how much access you have to this. So I could see that becoming an issue in a subsequent failure. I don't know if this is a good idea or not, but I'm going to go ahead and install it with it because it is plastic. You could always just pry it out and it'll be a little bit more of a booger, but I don't know. That you may or may not want to put that in. Your choice. So this cover was just simply held on with 2 T15 screws. Okay. Now we're just going to feed this in. Can you see that? Let's see. Can you see that? That's here. Feed that in. First one, and there's the second one. Look, they conveniently left them loose enough to be installed. This is a 8mm, if you can see that or not, 8mm socket. Now once you have that installed, you kind of fish around just a little bit, but this plug, you can see that or not, this plug goes in right there, rotate it until it snaps into place. Alright, there. Now that should have fixed our problem with the upper tailgate. We didn't have a lower tailgate problem on this one. So let's give that a try. Let's see how this worked. Throw some tools out of the way. You can hear the actuator when it puts the button. Okay, this gives the moment of truth. Wouldn't open before. Look at that. Probably need new lift struts too, but that's a whole nother project. That's easy. But okay, well, looks like we're back in business. Now we just need to put the trim back on, and we are good to go again. I like it a lot. Oh, so nice. Could do this all night. Okay everybody, well thanks for watching. I hope you got something out of this. I hope you enjoyed the video. Hope this helps you out a little bit with your tailgate problem. If you got any questions or comments, feel free to post them down below. And good luck with your Land Rover. You'll need it.